52 past the hour. Now to new developments on abortion access in Texas. For the first time in almost 50 years, a judge in the state has issued an emergency order for an abortion to take place. The order came yesterday after a pregnant mother sued the state of Texas for suffering from severe medical complications and being unable to get an abortion. Let's bring in former U.S. Attorney and MSNBC legal analyst Joyce Vance and Morning Joe reporter Daniela Pierre Bravo. Joyce, will get to the legal implications in just a moment. But first, Daniela, explain yesterday's development.
Good morning, Mika. So Texas has a near total abortion ban, with exceptions only when the health or life of the mother is at risk. In the case of Kate Cox, the woman who sued the state, her own doctor testified the longer she was pregnant, the greater the risk to her life. Her baby was diagnosed with trisomy 18, a severe fetal abnormality that is often fatal. But it's the language of the exception to the ban that are keeping doctors, like Kate's, in fear of going through with their own medical judgment. And we've seen this before, Mika, including in the case that is currently awaiting decision in the Texas Supreme Court. It's why an emergency order for an abortion was filed in this case. I spoke to Molly Duane, the attorney representing Kate, about the court order.
She's been to the emergency room multiple times for concerning pregnancy symptoms, including severe cramping, leaking fluid, and unusually high vital signs. One of those emergency room visits happened in between when we filed the case and when we got the order this morning. And so she is feeling much more encouraged that she's going to be able to get the health care that she needs in a timely manner.
Talk a little bit about some of the complications and kind of the fear around these laws and what doctors can and cannot do, specifically in Kate's case.
The law says if you're at risk of death or a serious risk of substantial impairment of a major bodily function. Do you know what that means? Because I haven't talked to a single physician who knows what that means. How close to death is close enough? All I know is that the state of Texas didn't think that Kate was close enough, but a judge did.
The Texas Attorney General's office argued during the hearing that Kate's condition did not meet all the elements for the abortion exceptions. And it still remains to be seen if the Attorney General's office will try to find an avenue to reverse the emergency order. They did, however, release a letter sent to Kate Cox's doctors warning them about going through with the abortion procedure, saying that the judge's order, quote, will not insulate hospitals, doctors, or anyone else from civil and criminal liability for violating Texas's abortion laws. Mika?
Unbelievable. I mean, this is where we are, Joyce, where people are making decisions that they know nothing about. And this woman, already we know what her medical challenges are. We know that her life is in danger. We know she's, enduring a lot of pain. And the list that the lawyer put down are increased vital signs, all those different things that could threaten her life, but also the mental anguish and the possibility of ever being able to have a baby again. That's what's at stake here. And yet it's the Texas Attorney General who's going to push this again and try and reverse it. I need to understand what's wrong with that man. Number one, I know that's not your expertise, but legally, what are the implications here?
Yeah, so this is like the commercials that we've been seeing, where there's a couple in their bedroom and all of a sudden an old white guy shows up and says, I'm your Republican congressman and I'm here to tell you what you can do. This situation helps us understand what activists mean when they say abortion is health care. Because for this young woman who is the mother of 2 children, who says she has always wanted to have a large family, this decision may mean will undoubtedly impact whether she can continue to have children in the future. She's told that the scarring from a delivery, if she carries this pregnancy to term, might end her ability to bear children. So who do we want making these decisions? Do we want her making this decision with her and her husband and her doctor? Or do we want Ken Paxton, Texas's Attorney General, to decide her future? This is second-class citizenship for women. Legally, here's where we are. This case will go on appeal through the Texas court system. Who knows what they say? The issue could end up in the U.S. Supreme Court. It's a pretty baseline American principle of law that laws shouldn't be so vague that we can't understand them. And that's the risk here. Texas has a formal exception for the mother's health, but when you've got the Attorney General of the state threatening to criminally prosecute a doctor to subject even her husband to civil liability if he helps her get an abortion, well, women don't have a meaningful right. And so it's Ken Paxton versus the courts, Ken Paxton versus the rule of law. I sure hope we can find a way for women to win without losing their lives and their ability to bear children.
So that man right there thinks he knows better than doctors and also the mother, the husband, the family who are dealing with a tragedy, a baby they very much wanted. But at this point, they need the abortion to stay alive for health care. Abortion is health care. And more Americans, Daniela, know that and are worried about this. That's why the polls are showing more and more people very accepting of the health care procedure. You mentioned another case. I mean, what's the potential this has other cases involved, collective action?
Right. So it's a big question mark. I mean, this case in specific, Kate Cox's case, and the court order specifically just delves into her case. But the one that you're referring to that's right now awaiting decision in the Texas Supreme Court actually is made up of 20 pregnant women and 2 doctors. And back in August, a district judge actually sided with them, saying that the laws are not clear enough for doctors to interpret. And then the Attorney General offices immediately went for an appeal. And so that's what we're waiting on right now in the Texas Supreme Court, whether that initial injunction will be upheld. And Kate's case is interesting because it's also one of the cases that one of the 20 women in the Texas Supreme Court's case also went through. So it may or may not have an impact.
So, Joyce, I'm sure this is something that you talk about on the Sisters-in-Law podcast. I'm wondering, where is our voice? Where is the voice of women in these situations? We had a case in Florida that was similar, and we've had a case we reported on where a woman was told, just wait until you bleed out or until you're bleeding out. I mean, this is crazy. Is there any recourse on a national level that women have to push back against this barbaric set of laws that we have right now?
So women's voice is their vote, and we've seen women and their allies increasingly turn out to vote to protect abortion. States have begun to write protection into their constitutions. And here's what the United States Supreme Court said in the Dobbs decision when it reversed Roe versus Wade.
Right.
It said, we're going to leave this issue up to each state. So our voice exists in our state legislatures, and women will have to insist that their lives, that their decision-making processes deserve protection from their legislators and their attorney generals. It's awfully difficult to think we're in this position in 2023.
It's unbelievable. Former U.S. Attorney Joyce Vance, thank you, co-host of the Sisters-in-Law podcast, and Morning Joe reporter Daniela Pierre Bravo, thank you as well.